Subscribe to this YouTube channel and please enjoy watching this video. Here we go. Manchester United are unlikely to appoint Paul Mitchell to an internal recruitment role at Old Trafford, as journalist Dean Jones explains that Sir Brailsford wanted to take a different approach. The Red Devils recently saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe's minority takeover ratified by the Premier League and FA. They are looking towards a future under the guidance of the Ineos chairman. Erik ten Hag has endured mixed fortunes with his Man United side across the 2023-24 season, but hopes backing in the transfer market will set the team on the path to success. Mitchell had been linked with a director's vacancy at United, but recent developments have seen Ratcliffe and Sir Brailsford head in a different direction. Man United approach for Dan Ashworth amid Mitchell links. It has been a whirlwind few weeks for Manchester United, who have eagerly been waiting for the Premier League and FA to ratify Ratcliffe's minority ownership at Old Trafford. The Glazers still rule the roost in the red side of Manchester, but Ratcliffe's arrival means that he will take control of all footballing and sporting operations behind the scenes. Ratcliffe has already been putting early feelers ahead of a reshuffle in recruitment at Man United. Jones has recently told Dugout News, February 20th, that the 20-time English champions are set to put their plan in place to appoint Newcastle United's Dan Ashworth as their sporting director. The 52-year-old has recently been placed on gardening leave at St. James Park after being approached by the Red Devils, making it clear he would like to switch to Manchester. Ashworth has overseen Newcastle's transformation from Premier League relegation candidates to securing qualification to the Champions League, whilst also impressing in roles at Brighton and Hove Albion and West Bromwich Albion. He has also held a vital director role within the FA, resigning following England's run to the 2018 World Cup semi-finals. According to The Athletic, Mitchell's name has constantly been bandied around Old Trafford since Ratcliffe's arrival. The 42-year-old departed AS Monaco in 2023 and has been out of work since leaving the League One outfit. However, Mitchell is said to have made it clear to Ineos that he wishes to pursue alternative opportunities and has planned to spend time with his family upon his return to the UK. This leaves any chances of a Mitchell appointment at Manchester United increasingly slim, especially after Ashworth is set to take the role that the former Monaco man would have been vying for. Dean Jones, Man United are not progressing anything on Mitchell. Jones claims that Manchester United are unlikely to move on Mitchell's appointment, and he is uncertain to come back on the radar immediately. The journalist hints that Brailsford wanted to take a different approach. Jones told Dugout News. The way it's looking now, Man United are not progressing anything on Mitchell, but if suddenly the deals that they have lined up for their recruitment plans fall apart, then there will be potential for Mitchell to come back on the radar. He's somebody that they have looked at. In the end, I think it came down to the fact that Brailsford decided he would prefer to take a different approach, which would probably prove most costly to Mitchell in terms of getting into Old Trafford. Man United news on Sir Jim Ratcliffe's takeover. On the evening of the February 20th, Manchester United confirmed that Ineos had completed their minority takeover of the club, purchasing a 27.7% stake in the Old Trafford outfit. In December 2023, it was confirmed that all relevant parties had agreed on a deal to enable this to happen. Still, the Premier League and FA had to ratify the move before being made official. In the wake of the news, Ratcliffe issued a statement expressing his pride at becoming a co-owner of Manchester United. To become co-owner of Manchester United is a great honor and comes with great responsibility. This marks the completion of the transaction, but just the beginning of our journey to take Manchester United back to the top of English, European and world football with world-class facilities for our fans. Work to achieve those objectives will accelerate from today. Meanwhile, on the pitch, Ten Hag must keep his side's focus amid plenty of background noise throughout the 2023-24 campaign. On February 24th, Manchester United host Fulham at Old Trafford, hoping to close in on the Premier League's top four and secure a place in the Champions League next term. The Red Devils close February with a trip to Nottingham Forest in the last 16 of the FA Cup on the 28th. Meanwhile, Newcastle United are in search of a new sporting director with Dan Ashworth heading out the door, and journalist Dean Jones has now told Dugout News that Paul Mitchell could be a route that the Magpies go down, but he's not expected to be a leading candidate for the role. Newcastle aren't having the best of seasons in the Premier League, with Eddie Howe's side facing an uphill battle to qualify for the Champions League. The Magpies competed in Europe's elite club competition this term after finishing in the top four, but their chances of qualifying once again are diminishing. Things are about to get a little more tricky for the Northeast outfit, with sporting director Ashworth leaving the club. Newcastle will be forced to continue without the important backroom member, and the decision-makers at St James Park will have to ensure they replace him with the right man to help guide the club to success in the future. Newcastle need to replace Dan Ashworth. Newcastle United recently released an official statement confirming that Ashworth has been placed on gardening leave after expressing his desire to leave the club. "We are naturally disappointed Dan has chosen to leave. However, our exciting journey doesn't stop, and the process to recruit a new sporting director will begin immediately. We thank Dan for his efforts at Newcastle United, and we wish him and his family well for the future." The Magpies will now immediately begin their search for his replacement, but it's understood that they are holding out for a £20 million compensation package before allowing Ashworth to join Manchester United, with Erik ten Hag's pushing to secure his signature. According to iNews, Newcastle have a list of candidates in mind, including 42-year-old Mitchell. The Stalybridge-born chief has spent time with Southampton, MK Dons, Tottenham Hotspur, RB Leipzig, New York Red Bulls, and Monaco during his career and is highly rated in the game. Italian journalist Fabrizio Romano told Dugout News back in November that Mitchell was on the list of Manchester United, with the former Spurs man living a short distance away from Old Trafford. Jones has recently told Dugout News that he expects Newcastle to search abroad and in England to find Ashworth's replacement. The respected reporter also adds that it could have a knock-on effect on Howe's future at St James Park. Although it's not been a completely disastrous season for the Magpies, the Northeast outfit have dropped off this term, and a potential new sporting director could have a more cutthroat view on Howe's future. Ashworth oversaw the recruitment at Newcastle and helped Howe build a squad capable of qualifying for the Champions League. The Magpies now have a major decision to make, which could share their future, and they will want to act fast so a new appointment can prepare for the summer transfer window. Dean Jones, Newcastle, could look at Mitchell. Jones has suggested that Newcastle will consider all the prospects that they could bring in, and they have to be open-minded. The journalist adds that Mitchell could be someone they look at, but he doesn't believe the former Southampton man will be a leading candidate for the role. Speaking to Dugout News, Jones said, "Newcastle will obviously have to consider all the prospects that they could bring in, and while I don't think at this stage Paul Mitchell is a leading candidate for that, again, they've got to be open-minded about what can happen. And there's definitely a potential route in there if things go on a different tangent in the coming weeks. Richard Hughes could be an option for Newcastle." According to Mail Online, Bournemouth technical director Richard Hughes could be considered by Newcastle to replace Ashworth at St James Park. Hughes worked with Howe during his time with the Cherries, and they are said to have formed a strong bond at the Vitality Stadium. The report also claims that former Liverpool chief Michael Edwards is likely to be on Newcastle's shortlist. Journalist Jones previously told Dugout News that Hughes is someone in demand, and he's already rejected some strong offers to leave Bournemouth. The respected reporter adds that from Howe's point of view, it would be perfect, with the former Bournemouth manager having an ally if he was to move to the Northeast. Let us know about this whole thing in the comments section below. Additionally, stay tuned and subscribe to this YouTube channel for the latest news and updates from all around the world. We sign out.